What game is easy to learn but also very satisfying to play? Space Cadet Pinball. Minesweeper, if you can stomach a paragraph of reading. It's ridiculously easy to learn. Any Katamari game. The only controls are the joysticks and you start out with this very small ball and have to slowly build ball by running over stuff. You go from basically mouse size to absorbing a planet throughout the game. Slime Rancher. It's rough to manage the range before you start using bees. But the mechanics are basic to any FPS gamer and the feeling when you have the wrench running like clockwork is ducking amazing. Minecraft to an extent. You need a minor bit of knowledge on how to start. That first day you need to punch trees to make planks to make a workbench, but once you know that a massive sandbox game opens up to you. Build stuff that you think is cool. Play with friends. Kill the Ender Dragon. Mod the ever-living bejesus out of it. The options are dizzying. As to why it isn't necessarily easy to learn. There is a lot in the game. Redstone specifically. That borderline requires the minor in computer science to properly understand. The good news is Redstone is a late game optional thing that can make your life easier and does some neat stuff but is far from required to pick up. Stardew Valley. RuneScape if you feel like being dragged into the pit of hell. Willingly sacrificing the next 5,000 hours of your life to the RNG gods. Very basic games at the heart of it though. Chess. It's not very hard to learn how the pieces can move and it's fun to play. Conversely, the better you and your opponent get, the harder it becomes. At the risk of sounding basic, The Sims. It's incredibly fun and rewarding, which is why once I pick it up I can't stop playing for weeks. Civ 5. On an easy difficulty your play doesn't need to be good. And you can spend time listening to the advisors / reading the descriptions of units or buildings to make sense of the game. Very satisfying too. Steep easy to play, hard to master, a lot of challenges and a very nice feeling when you play. OSU has a simple idea but can still be hard and is pretty satisfying to play too. Take a bit of time to get used to the controls though. Backgammon. Very easy to learn but you can spend a lifetime learning its intricacies and every game is different. Halo CE. Very simple controls and fun to play. Newer Halo games have more going on and flood the gameplay, making it harder to pick up the older you get. The original Halo games were simple without any abilities and made it clear what you were doing and why. Pokemon. It's a popular RPG game that allows people to figure out the strengths and weaknesses of the creatures they are battling and catching. It's been around since the late 90s and it shows no signs of slowing down. Gotta catch 'em all. Coup Card Game. The laughter I had lying to my friends to win the game was the best social experience ever. Straight Up. Banished. I know if you look at the description it seems like a very difficult death-filled game. But it really isn't. And you can adjust the difficulty pretty easily with settings. I've got a lot of time in it. It's a nice game to sit and play while watching TV. And it's satisfying to build out these little towns. It's difficult enough that the problems are satisfying to solve. But not so difficult that you can't solve them with a bit of thinking. Just don't accept nomads before building a city hospital. Checkers. That first 3+ jump. Feel like a king. Yeah. Been chasing that high for a while. Easy to learn and satisfying. Slay the Spire is a deck building roguelite where you add / remove cards and get special items as you adventure. If you enjoy games like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone, it's like a single player version of the best feeling you get from those games. Terraria. As a racing game fan, I have to throw out Forza. The game starts with a ton of assists and guidance enabled. Even 5-year-olds can pick up and play. But as you get better, the game encourages you to disable aids and increase difficulty, which means better rewards. After a while, they are all disabled. And you're racing on skill alone. IMO. Seeing your skill and ability increase bit by bit is more satisfying than simply progressing through the game. Forza is one of the few instances where you can really quantify your skill level based on the aids and opponent difficulty. A win is great, but proving to yourself that your skill has increased by winning with one less aid is truly satisfying. Warframe. Free to play. They are having an anniversary event this week. You start off running along and using just one skill. By week 2 you are bullet jumping in blinding rooms full of people. By week 4 you are Death Incarnate with a full set of skills on multiple warframes. Carcassonne. You place tiles and figures to either create cities with knights, farms with farmers, roads with robbers or abbeys with priests. Each option gives you scoring advantages either immediately or at the end of the game. It's quick to learn, replayable and has numerous expansions. Castle Crashers. I played it with my little brother when we were like 10 and 7. 4 years ago. Cribbage. Once you get the basics, it's a fun game. You don't even need to invest in a board. You can just count to the total, 121 points. I was taught as a teenager, and I frequently play with my parents and siblings. Stardew Valley. I'm really overtired right now, so I forget the words I need to describe this properly. But the game is really good at giving players positive sensory feedback for everything they do. Things like sound effects, visual effects, and occasionally in-game rewards. It makes the player feel like they've accomplished something even if they just end up doing the same few tasks over and over again every single day. Of course, there's enough to do that you can mix it up whenever you want. I have a pretty big farm and I usually get done tending to it by 2 p.m. So I can go off and do whatever other stuff I want. Modding the game is also really easy, which helps with longevity. Especially if you get the longevity mod. The Stanley Parable. Don't starve. Minecraft. If you like puzzle games with great storylines, then there is the Silent Age. I could list a billion games. It all just depends on your personal taste in games. Settlers of Catan. A really good but challenging strategy game. It's definitely very satisfying if you win. I'm not sure if it counts, but surfing and hopping in Counter-Strike are easy to learn, hard to master and very satisfying, and infuriating at times, to play. Magic. The Gathering. Easy to learn, impossible to master, super enjoyable to play. Arena is free to play as well. Go. One can easily grasp the rules in 15 to 20 minutes. Beauty of game can be appreciated at all the levels of competence. Whether you are a Dan player or playing the game for the first time. I always like Boggle. It feels pretty good when things line up just right and you can pull a dozen words or more out of the same little clump of letters in just a few seconds. Heat. Heats. He. Eat. Eats. Ate. At. Hat. Hats. Hate. Hates. Tea. Tease. Tease. Holy shit, this top right corner is amazing meaning. Spoons. YouTube it if you're not familiar with it. Played this as a drinking game with a group of friends and ended up with scratches on my hands trying to grab a spoon from the center if you're interested. Drunk spoons. Play spoons as you normally would, but the person at the end of each round who ends up without a spoon takes a shot. WSHH. It's a drinking game. I have no idea where this game comes from. I don't even know what language it is. I used to play it with my friends who are professional polo players from Argentina. The rules are simple. Sit in a circle. More than 4 people is more fun. One person starts with a movement of their arm. A WSSH. Where you move your arm across your body like you're waving someone to continue on their way. You can do this with either arm. It's called WSSH. The next person has 4 choices. WSSH, continue the same way. Bong, your opposite arm goes up in a right angle position to bounce it back to where it came from. Double bong, both arms go up in a right angle. And it skips the person after you. And ashwi, both of your hands push your own hair back. It reverses and skips a person. Whoever messes up drinks. I really wish I knew what country this game came from. Tag. Easy to learn and explain but very complex and tactical. 2-player game that can be played with pen, paper and coins. This is how me and my fiancé played before I bought the actual set. r/tac check it out.